Hey everyone, I'm going to review the Italian League Pack that's recently been released on eFootball. I've already done reviews on the English and Spanish League Packs. Those videos are live on the channel if you want to check them out. We've also got an update coming on eFootball this coming Thursday, so keep your eyes on the channel for 1 or 2 videos around that. As always, I'll put timestamps in the description for each player, so if there's a particular player you want to hear about in this pack, just click the description and there'll be a link to take you straight to them. So let's have a look at who we've got. Starting with Bellanova from Torino. So Bellanova, to be honest, he's got a lot of pace, but he's not got a lot of anything else. He's a bit lacking defensively. Technically, he's not brilliant either. If we hit the game plan boost here, we do at least get to the 70 mark on defensive awareness. Still below 70 on tight possession. He's got crazy pace, really good stamina as well, but we're going to have to take some of those points away and beef him up a bit elsewhere. What would I do? So, I mean, you could take that down to... I wouldn't go lower than 7. I don't want to take his kicking power below 70. He doesn't need that physical contact. If we need points elsewhere, we'll take those 4 away for now. Dexterity, we can definitely take that down a bit. Again, with the balance, same as the kicking power. I don't want that balance going below 70. Can we get 4 on each of these? Yeah. What does it give us for defending? 4 extra on defending. So, we could take 1 away from that, actually. And that give us a couple on the aerial. Yeah, I'd probably do that on him. To be honest, I still don't think he's that brilliant. I mean, he is one of the low rated in the pack. He's 92 rated. This is obviously with the game plan boost, takes him to 94. He's a bit better now on the ball. Still slightly iffy tight possession. One thing to keep in mind with this guy, though, he's about 6'2". So he's quite tall for a right back. He's not going to feel brilliant on the ball. He does have decent dribbling, but not tight possession. He doesn't have much balance either. So he might feel a little bit clunky on the ball. He's got good pace, though. He does have decent stamina still, even after reallocating some of those points. Defensively, the awareness only 74. Tackling and aggression both below 80. Engagement does hit 80, but it's still not brilliant defensively. And the other negative with this guy, he's really lacking skills. Pinpoint crossing is a good one. He's got 80 lofted pass, so when he gets forward, he should have a reasonable cross on him. But he's got nothing else. There's nothing defensively. I've been saying that about a bunch of players in these packs. He needs interception. It's really important. You might want to put 1 or 2 others on him, like blocker, man marking, and so on. But certainly interception, you really need that. So, yeah, he does have some qualities. He's quite quick. The fact he's tall and got some decent physical contact, that's good for a fullback. He really does have a lot of pace. Certainly on the auto allocation, he had crazy pace. But yeah, first feature version of him. So if you're a fan of Torino, if you like this guy, you'd be pleased to pick this card up. But honestly, as a fullback, I just think that in too many areas he's a little bit lacking. So he's not one that really appeals to me. He can play right midfield. Just to show you how he could be built for right midfield. I'm not sure I'd be that keen to play him there, but what would I be doing? Beef these up a bit. I'll probably do something like that. Again, he does have pinpoint crossing, so as a right midfielder, right-footed, really good pace, pinpoint crossing, beef up his crossing a little bit, a bit better on the ball. You could make him a decent sort of old-school right winger, one of these kind of, right footer on the right, putting crosses in with the pace and the crossing ability. Could be decent, but decent isn't really that appealing. When you're throwing coins at a pack, you want someone who's good. So for me, ultimately, as a right midfielder, could probably do a job. As a fullback, could probably do a job, but I don't think he's particularly amazing in either position. So ultimately, it's not a great card for me. And next, we have another fullback. So we've got a left back, and we've got Mário Rui from Napoli. He's a fullback finisher. I'm pretty certain he used to be an attacking fullback, but at some point they changed him to a fullback finisher. We have had one previous feature card of him. I think it was in one of those legend boxes. The only real difference between this one and that one, they're pretty much the same overall, but this one has slightly higher lofted pass, but slightly lower defensive awareness. Otherwise, it's pretty much the same as that previous version. He has a low center of gravity, 168 centimeters, so he's a little guy. Should feel pretty neat and responsive on the ball, but as a fullback, you might be concerned about his ability in physical duels, if he might get out-muscled a bit too easily. Something to keep an eye on, because he doesn't have a great deal of physical contact. But yeah, that playstyle fullback finisher, not everyone's cup of tea. As an attacking fullback, he'll just bomb up and down that left flank. As a fullback finisher, he'll kind of drift into the middle and start roaming forward through the middle, getting right up towards the attack, and that's not ideal. Some people might like that, depends how you play, what kind of formation you use. If you like that playing style, great. If you don't, that's just something to keep in mind, because for me personally, I don't like that. I don't want my fullbacks or any of my defenders wandering forward and straying from their position, so just something to keep in mind. In terms of the way their points are allocated, we'll hit that game plan boost, see what we're working with when we get to the game plan. He's pretty good. He's got really good pace. Kicking power's pretty good. Balance is good. Stamina's great. Physical contact, as I mentioned, he's a small guy. He's not the strongest. That's a slight concern. Defensive awareness isn't brilliant. The rest are 80 plus. So on the whole, he's pretty decent defensively. Down the left, he's okay. He's okay down here. I think personally, I would. It would be nice if we could get a bit more on his dribbling. You could take one away from his lower body easily. Maybe just stick that straight on dribbling. And you got one spare, shove that on aerial maybe. No, can't do that. Maybe if we take just one off his passing, then we can get one on aerial. I'll just do that, to be honest. So yeah, not a massive change, but nice to get our tight possession up a little bit, get to the 80 mark. He is going to feel neat on the ball, being as short as he is, the pace, good balance. And he's pretty competent in terms of all the attributes. He looks like a pretty good, solid left back. But again, it's down to these skills. There's nothing defensively. No interception, no man marking, block, or acrobatic clearance, none of that. He's got pinpoint crossing. Through passing is a really nice bonus. He's got pretty decent passing for a fullback. He'll have a decent cross on him, but as a fullback, you've got to have at least interception. You've got to have some defensive skills. There's nothing there. So if you get this guy, he does look like he'll feel pretty neat, but fullback finisher playing style, keep that in mind. It might not be your cup of tea. Lack of interception skill is a concern. But if you give him interception, if you like that playing style, I think he could feel pretty fun. He could be a very decent left back to pick up. But those two things are concerns, and also the fact he's small and he's not got much physical contact. So there's a few asterisks on this guy, but yeah, if you can work those things in your favour, it could be a pretty good left back to pick up. Next we have Jack Bonaventura from Fiorentina. So he's having a good season, as you can see. He's had quite a lot of good form. That's something to keep in mind. He's a pretty tidy-looking attacking midfielder. He's a whole player. That play style will be active in all his positions except as a wide left forward. I don't think I'd personally use him out wide with his lack of pace. He's not disastrously slow, but he's not the quickest. I think he's definitely best through the middle. With that whole player playing style, making a lot of bursts forward, one thing to keep in mind, he doesn't have a lot of stamina. So keep that in mind. He will get tired. You could get away with him as a centre mid. Not brilliant defensively. You see, defensive awareness especially, he's only 68, but we'll get that game plan boost activated. So we'll get at least 70 plus towards defensive. So depending on the kind of midfield setup that you use, if you've got one or two midfielders who are doing the defensive work, and you like having a centre midfielder who's going to bomb forward from that centre midfield position, he could do that job for you. But I think the best way to use him is as an attacking midfielder. If I was going to use him as a centre midfielder, I think the way I'd build him, I'd probably sacrifice a bit of the passing there. And I would... What would I do? A bit more defending there. And get his physical contact to 70 up. As a centre midfielder, I'd probably do that. So he's a bit more defensively sound there. He's still technically pretty good. And down the right there, he's got up to the 70 mark physical contact. His pace is reasonable. He's a little bit quicker there. Actually, that's probably just the game plan boost. But yeah, stamina's still a concern though. And if we look down at the skills down here, going forward, lovely set of skills. Got a little bit of dribbly stuff for those who like their dribbling. Long range drive, long range shooting, rising shots. Then one touch pass and through passing, crucial for an attacking midfielder. But there's nothing defensively, no interception. So as a centre midfielder, he's going to be a very offensive-minded centre midfielder. Don't be relying on him to do too much defensive work. But you could get away with him, like I said, depending on the way you set your midfield up. But I think as an attacking midfielder is where he's best. And if he's playing attacking midfield, we can yoink those points back from defending and aerial. And the way I think I would build him for AMF, get a bit of shooting, gets passing up to 90. Got a few more to go on there. Yeah, lovely. I would do that, I think. So there you see, as a whole player, getting 80 offensive awareness, I think is very useful. Very tidy on the ball. He's got his low pass up to 90, lofted at 88. Bit more on his finishing as well. He's got some shooting skills as well. On the right, like I said, he's not the quickest, but we've got his acceleration up to 80 at least in the game plan. Kicking power is decent, balance is decent. Stamina again, keep an eye on that. He will get tired. Maybe he's best coming on as a second half sub, I don't know, but certainly he's got some abilities. He's tidy on the ball, he's got some end product, and as a whole player with 80 offensive awareness, he'll get into good positions playing attacking midfield. Likewise, if you're playing left mid or right mid, but I don't personally think that He's got the pace to do that, but depends on how you use your players. If you don't mind a wide midfielder not having too much pace, he'll make good runs as a whole player from left mid and right mid. But yeah, he's got a good selection of skills going forward with shooting and passing. He's a pretty tidy player. I don't think he's amazing by any means. We've had, I think, one version of him that was a player of the week card. This is better than that one. So if you've got that player of the week card and you like it, you'll really like this one, because it's very much, it's got the same skills, same playing style, same positions, but he's a bit better, certainly technically. So yeah, and good form as well. So I think on the whole, it's not an amazing card, not a top level card by any means, but he's got plenty of quality there. And I think as an attacking midfielder with a whole player playing style, could be a pretty tidy one to pick up. And next we have Soulé. He's been playing on loan at Frosinone from Juventus. As you can see, he's having a pretty decent season. There's quite a bit of good form there, worth keeping in mind. So he's down as a wide right forward. He can play through the centre, SS or AMF as well. We'll look at all three of those positions. Looking at the attributes here, obviously very tidy on the ball. He's got good offensive awareness. He's got pretty good pace, pretty good balance as well. In terms of end product, slightly iffy passing, not great with the finishing as well. So depends on how much emphasis you put on that end product there. You're going to have to be very careful, especially with his shooting. But could we shuffle some points around? I think so. I think that default build, he could feel pretty nice on the ball. You might want to just go with that, but let's hit that game plan boost there. We'll see what we're working with. See if we can shuffle some points around. So if you're going to use him as a wide right forward, what would I do? I would just take a few off there, just low enough that we're still 80 for offensive awareness. Bit more shooting, bit more passing. Get his low pass up to 80. Bit more finishing on as well, and his curls over 80 as well, which is nice. He does have a long range curler on him. He's also got soul control, which is nice. He's got a heel trick, useful one. Through passing is nice as well. So got some important skills there. If you're going to add some skills, maybe his long range shooting, maybe his one touch pass, but he's got some important ones there. I think long range curlers and through passing, two very good skills to have, the positions he can play. That probably would be the way I'll build him if I'm going to play him wide right. Still got good pace and balance, the good offensive awareness there. All his dribbling 90 plus, but then he's 80 for low pass and finishing 74 with good curl. As long as you're careful not to pass too much of him, he's going to have a decent long range curl on as well. So yeah, it could be a nice build for him wide right. If you're going to play him as an SS just off the attack, what would you do? You could maybe get dexterity back. Maybe do that. I think it's more important the passing. If you're playing through the middle, just off the attack, passing is a bit more important. Got a bit more finishing as well. 82 low pass now. He's got through passing, remember. Taking a bit away from his dribbling, but he's still very tidy on the ball. Bit more offensive awareness to get into good positions in and around the penalty area. Good pace, really good balance. I think that build could work nicely for him as an SS. And as an attacking midfielder, what would he do as an attacking midfielder? Take his finishing down to 70. We need more passing. That's the thing. If you're going to play him attacking midfield, take that 3 back from dexterity, and then go 4 higher on passing. Nice. Yeah, as an attacking midfielder with through passing, now still very tidy in the ball, but got that low pass up to 87 now. It's good. Still offensive runs at 80. Still pretty decent pace and balance. I think if you play him as an attacking midfielder, that would work. I would look to put one touch pass on him, add that to his skills. He's already got through passing though. Heel trick's nice. He's got that long range drive as well and soul control. He could work as an attacking midfielder as well, so he got a few options with him. It's the first time I've had a feature card of him. And yeah, to be honest, decent form. He's got decent skills down there. He's got some decent attributes. I think he could be a tidy one. He's not a top level player by any means, but if you do pick this guy up, I think he could be a useful one. He could be pretty decent. He's 182 centimeters, so he's not got that low center of gravity, but he should feel nice enough on the ball. And like I say, yeah, it could be useful. I think he could be a pretty solid option, wide right or through the middle. Not a brilliant card, but it certainly looks a pretty decent one. And now we have Retegui. He's playing at Genoa now, Italy international. So we've got a fox in the box. He goes up to 93, and before we get the game plan boost, he is horrible on the ball. That scares the life out of me. He's not got a single one of these technicals in the 70s, neither passing, so that's a big concern for me. If we do get that game plan boost though, you see we do get to 70 for a couple of them, but it's still a big concern for me. We have had one previous version of Retegui that was better than this. I think it was in one of those legend boxes, and it went up to 95. This one only goes to 93, although this one does have acrobatic finishing. I think they've added that. So that's one thing this one does have over that previous version, although, like I say, that previous version did go too high overall. In terms of his other skills, he's got the important ones. He's got first time shot. He's got long range shooting, heading. It would be nice if he had aerial superiority because he's about 6'1". Got decent jumping at 80. Physical contact 85 is good and heading 80. So with aerial superiority, you could really make the most of his ability from crosses. Because he's certainly not someone you're going to want to get on the ball and ask him to do too much on the ball. He's not a dribbler by any means. When you get the ball with this guy, you're going to want to look to release it as quick as you can. If that's a pass, you're going to have to be careful with his passing because that's not great. But certainly in terms of getting into good positions, 93 offensive awareness, 91 finishing, in the right place at the right time in the box, he'll take chances for you. So he's got some qualities, and like I say, he's got some ability from crosses as well. Pretty average pace. In terms of the way his training points are allocated, I think it's pretty obvious where I'd personally try and beef him up a bit. So what would we do here? You could take a bit of his dexterity away. Take a few off there. You could take one off finishing, that'll still be 90. Stick a bit of passing on, and then you can get that up to 8. I'll do that. It's not a massive shift from his auto allocation, but it just makes him a little bit better on the ball. Slightly better passing, but he's still got 90 for offensive awareness and finishing, and he's still got his aerial and physical abilities. He's not lost much of his acceleration. He's still got pretty average pace. I think that's probably what I'd do. So yeah, like I say, he's a solid centre forward, fox in the box. I don't think he's amazing. He does have good awareness and finishing, but technically he's really not brilliant. Even after reallocating a bunch of points, he's not great on the ball. I would try to maybe put aerial superiority on him and use him as a kind of like a target man. Put some crosses in. I think he'd be pretty decent from crosses. So his ability to score goals, yes, but on the ball, a little bit iffy for me. So on the whole, it's a fairly solid card, but not one I'll be looking to spend coins trying to get. I don't think it's an amazing one by any means. Next, we have Saelemaekers, another loan player. He's on loan at Bologna from AC Milan. We have a cross specialist, right-footed, playing on the right. You can't make him a good enough right back, so don't worry about that. We're looking at very much just a right winger. But the cross specialist play style, he's going to hug the touchline, he's going to stay out wide the whole time. He just wants to get the ball out wide and whip crosses in. He does have a decent lofted pass attribute. He has pinpoint crossing as well. It's the most important one for a cross specialist. Doesn't have a lot more skill-wise, unfortunately. He's got track back. Some people like that, some don't. Fighting spirit, that's fairly useful, I guess. We hit that game plan boost, see what we're working with here. So, as you can see, fairly tidy on the ball. Low pass is alright. Lofted pass is good at 88. It's going to have a good cross with the pinpoint crossing skill. Got pretty good pace, 90 acceleration especially. It's a couple of attributes. I'd love to get them just a little bit higher, get kicking power or balance up to the 80 mark, offensive awareness maybe. If we're going to shuffle his points around, what could we do? Take that away. We could do that. So we can get his balance up to 81, his offensive awareness up to 80. That's nice. Not a massive change from the auto allocation, to be honest. I think that's probably what I'd personally do. What you could also do, though, as a cross specialist, you could try and get his lofted pass up to 90. So if you're going to do that, what will we do? Do that. Does that give us enough points? Yes. So you could do that. If you want to capitalise on his crossing, still good pace. Don't quite hit the 80 mark for balance or offensive awareness anymore, but still tidying the ball. And as you can see, you get that lofted pass up to 90, so we'll have a really good cross on him. So, yeah, fairly tidy. We've had one previous version of Saelemaekers. That I think was in one of those legend boxes. That went up to 95, so this one isn't as good, obviously. But if you've not got a version of him, if you like this guy in real life, if you like using wingers and putting crosses in for your strikers, cross specialist playing style, there aren't that many good cross specialists. He could be used one to pick up. Like I say, he's got good pace, he's got very good crossing, and it depends how you build him, but his crossing is generally pretty good, however you train him. Yeah, I think he's got a very specific purpose. If you don't like those types of winger, I don't think he's going to be for you, but if you do like that type of winger, he could be used for one to pick up, because he's got the ability, the play style, the pinpoint crossing skill, the way, the strength of some of his attributes. He's built perfectly to be a right winger. So, yeah, not an amazing card, and he's not going to be the type of winger everyone likes, but if he suits you, he could be a pretty useful one to pick up. And now we have our goalkeeper. We've got Gregorio from Monza. Solid goalkeeper, to be honest. He's nothing amazing, though. There's no real major weakness. All down the middle in the 80s. Awareness, reflexes, reach, all decent. None amazing, though. Jumping, decent. We get the game plan boost. Still, nothing's hitting 90. You want to get 1 or 2 90 plus for a really good keeper, but he's kind of just not quite there. But there's no real weakness, like I say. With the awareness 88, reflexes 87, reach 89, catching and parrying both mid-80s. Pretty solid, to be honest. No real weakness there. In terms of his skills, though, he's got a penalty saver, a useful one for a keeper, but he doesn't have low punt, doesn't have long throw. So distribution-wise, and with the passing attributes not great, he's not going to be brilliant with distribution, and there's nothing special about his attributes. So solid, but not amazing. Not amazing. We've had 2 versions of Di Gregorio in the past, both of them Player of the Week. The first one wasn't as good as this. So if you got that version and you like him, this could be a good one to pick up. The more recent one, though, was better than this. So if you got the more recent Di Gregorio, it's got, I think, 88 for goalkeeper awareness before the game plan boost. That's the best version of Di Gregorio. It's better than this. If you got that one, you do not need this one. But yeah, like I say, he's a solid keeper. There's nothing amazing about him. If you're looking for goalkeeper options, or if you like this guy, he'll be solid. He'll be worth picking up. But there's nothing amazing about him, really. He's just kind of solid but unspectacular. Now we have Paredes from Roma. So we've got an anchorman, defensive midfielder, can play centre midfield as well. We'll do a couple of builds on this guy. So anchorman will just sit in front of your defence. He won't get forward. He'll just sit there and protect your defence. And to be honest, this guy looks pretty good. He's got some pretty strong defensive attributes. Down the left, he's pretty technically sound for a defensive midfielder. On the right, he's a little bit slow. If you don't like your midfielders, defensive midfielders to be too slow, then it might be a concern for you. But I think a lot of people won't mind too much about the pace there. Physical contact could be better for a defensive midfielder, but it certainly could be worse. Balance, not brilliant. But I think a lot of defensive midfielders are lacking there. Stamina, not brilliant, but I think you're probably going to be okay as an anchor man because he's not going to be running around too much. If we hit that game plan boost, as you can see, low and lofted pass, both hitting 90 there. Fantastic. Got good kicking power as well. Very aggressive. Yeah, on the whole, this looks like a pretty good, solid anchorman card, to be honest. In terms of how I'd build him, what would I do? I think to be honest, as a defensive midfielder, there's 2 ways you could build him. If you're going to go for a real defensive build and just have him as a real just blocker in front of your defense and not worry too much about the technicals, you could take away 4 from the passing. We have a bunch of skills. Get his physical contact up to 80 with the game plan boost. And then you can get 1 more defending. I think that as a defensive build, he's still technically sound, to be honest. Down the left-hand side, he's still pretty tidy on the ball. But you get up to 90 defensive engagement. Even defensive awareness is up to 87. Very strong defensively. And down the right, as you see there, 80 for physical contact. I think that's quite important on defensive midfielder. I think that'd be a really, really solid build for a defensive midfielder with the anchorman playing style. If we look down at his skills, so 1-touch pass, through passing, weighted pass, outside curler, low lofted pass. He's lovely on the ball, got really nice passing. He's also got interception and sliding tackle. So interception is a key one. You might want to put 1-2 more on him as a defensive midfielder. Maybe man marking, blocker. There's 1 or 2 defensive ones you could add to him. But I think interception and sliding tackle, he's got a strong base there defensively, especially with these attributes. So yeah, I think that would probably be my build as a defensive midfielder. Bearing in mind the ability he's got on the ball, though, you could give him more of a kind of technical build as a defensive mid. So if we were going to do that, take that down. So what am I going to do? Can we get, yeah, A on there? Nope. Take a couple back from there. Yeah, he gets passing back up to 90. So as you can see, still defensively pretty strong, but a bit tighter on the ball. We've got his low and lofted pass both up to 90, which is fantastic. Got a bit more balance on him, a little bit more pace on him. Not too different, to be honest, as a build. Just a little bit more technically sound. So depends how you want to build him. You can build him however you want, obviously. But I think for me personally, that might be what I go for, actually. Not got quite as much defensive ability as that first build we did just now, but that passing in front of your defense is lovely. So yeah, however you build him, I think as a defensive midfielder with the anchorman playing style, this is a really strong card. Quite like the look of this one. But as I say, you can play centre midfield as well. So we'll just do 1 more build, show how we could build him as a centre midfielder. So don't need as much defensively. Let's just take this down to 8. And then don't need as much physical. We'll leave that for now. Bit more stamina, please, if you don't mind. I think we just put all these on dexterity, actually. Nice, yeah. So physical contact and balance, both 80 now. Stamina's gone up a bit. That's important centre midfield. If you play him centre midfield, the anchorman playing style will not be active. So he won't have a playing style. He'll be more like a kind of box-to-box or a playmaker, that kind of thing. The shackles will be off a bit, so he'll roam around a bit more. I've got one or two midfielders like that. I've got a player of the week, Bruno Guimaraes, who's an anchor man. I play him as a centre mid sometimes. Works really well. I like him a lot, so that could work well. A bit more pace on him. Defensively, still pretty strong. And then down the left, again, we're technically sound, and we've got that low and lofty pass at the 90 mark. So I think he could be pretty effective as a centre midfielder, to be honest. He's had some good form as well. Roma have been playing well since De Rossi took over from Mourinho. I expect that will probably continue, having a good season, Paredes. So some good form there, some A's and some B's. Good skill set, whichever way you use him. Defensive mid, centre mid. I think this is a good card. I think he's got a lot of ability here. It's the best version we've had of Paredes so far. I don't think it's even close. So if you like Paredes, this is the best opportunity you've had to get a version of him. And yeah, like I say, whether it's a defensive midfielder in front of your defence or as a centre midfielder, defensively strong, technically strong, really nice passing. I think this is a very good card. And now we have Scalvini from Atalanta. So we've got a centre-back here. If you like Scalvini, this is comfortably the best version of Scalvini we've had. It's quite a bit, it's considerably better than any previous version. And it looks pretty good. As you can see, defensively down the middle, all 90 plus before the game plan boost. On the right, he's got a pretty average pace for centre-back. Jumping physical, jumping could be a bit higher, but he's about 6 foot, what is he, 6'4"? Comfortably 6'4", actually, about 6'4.5". He's a tall guy. If we look down the skills, he has aerial superiority, so he'll be decent enough in the air, even with jumping being below 80. But we'll hit the game plan boost, and that'll take that to 80 in a second. But just to finish up on the skills, one-touch pass is a nice one to have. He's got fairly decent passing. He's very decent on the ball for a centre-back. Man marking, interception, aerial superiority, as I mentioned, sliding tackle. He's got some of the most important ones. You probably, if you're going to get this guy and use him regularly, you probably want to put blocker on him, acrobatic clearance, maybe heading. His heading's all right. I don't think heading's too important, but blocker and acrobatic clearance probably the two ones you'd want to put on first. But he's got some of the most important ones there, like I say, and one-touch pass is a nice bonus. If we do hit the game plan boost, as you see, we get to 80 on jumping. His acceleration goes up into the 70s, and he's tidy on the left, as you see on the ball. He's pretty good for centre-back. One thing to keep in mind with this guy, he's an extra front man. That's not everyone's cup of tea. I've tried putting the defensive instruction on extra front man before, and he plays more like a build-up. That worked well for me. That might not work for everyone. You might already be using all your defensive instructions because you only get 2 slots. Someone mentioned last time in the comments when I spoke about this, so it might not work for you. Or you might like that play style, but as an extra front man, a centre-back will roam forward. He'll step forward and he'll want to get involved with the midfield and stray from his position. That's not everyone's cup of tea. It's certainly not mine. But if it is yours, this looks like a good card. You know, like I say, defensively he's really strong down the middle. Physically in that area, he's pretty strong. The pace is decent enough for centre back, and he's nice down the left. What you could do in terms of reallocating his points a little bit, I think you could probably take a couple away from defensive, leave them all still 90 plus. You could stick them straight on aerial, to be honest. And then you got 2 points left over. Stick them on there. Lovely. So you're 90 plus on all defensives, 90 physical contact now. Still that decent enough pace. Good stamina for a centre-back. Not many centre-backs, 70 plus on all of these. So yeah, that could be a nice build for you. Or what you could also do is thinking if you're going to make the most of the fact he's an extra front man, instead of those two going on aerial, if we take those back from aerial, still strong enough physically and aerially, you could put all them on passing. And then those last two, stick them on dribbling, I guess. That way you really make the most of the fact he's an extra front man. 80 low pass is that's high for a centre-back. Not many centre-backs have 80 for low pass, and he's got one-touch pass, remember, in his skills. So he's pretty tidy on the ball for a centre-back. Still got really good defensive attributes. Still physically and aerially strong. The pace is reasonable. Stamina's good. This is a really good card, you know. I think this is a really good centre-back. I think that the play style is what's really going to determine how good he is for you. If you don't like that play style, depending whether you want to try the defensive instruction on him, it might not be for you. But if you do like that play style, I think this build that I've done here might be the one, because really tidy on the ball there for a centre-back, and he's still really good defensively, physically, aerially, everywhere. I think it's a really good card. So yeah, it comes down to the play style. You might want to put 1 or 2 extra skills on him, but if he works for you, this could be a really, really good card. And now we have Rafael Leão. So I think by now we all know what to expect from Rafael Leão. He's big, he's quite strong, but he's great on the ball. He's rapid. He's a real dangerous left winger. We've had 2 legend cards of Leão previously. which are better than this. They both got to about 98, I think, or one might be 97. But outside of the two legend cards, this is about as good as a version of Leão as we've had. So this is a good version of Rafael Leão. I'm going to go straight to the game plan boost. As you can see, I go over 80 for offensive awareness. He's great on the ball, 99 dribbling with the auto allocation. A little bit of a question mark over his end product. He's not great with the passing. Finishing isn't too bad. Could be better, but it's not too bad. Great pace. Got really good balance. Physical contact's not bad. He's a big, strong guy, like I say. He's quite hard to knock off the ball. In terms of how I would build him, if you're playing wide left, you could easily take away a few from dribbling. What do we do here? Get 4 more on passing, actually. Stick those last 2 in aerial. Yeah. I'll probably do that. Get his finishing up to 78. In fact, the finishing was already 78. When we get his passing up a little bit to 74 and 77. Dribbling still very good. He's still going to be very good on the ball. Still good awareness. Still rapid. Bit more physical contact on him as well. That just beefs up his end product a little bit, to be honest. You could maybe boost his end product even more, to be honest. I've not really done a great deal with the way I've shuffled his points around there. So what we do here. So we could sacrifice a bit more pace. A bit more finishing, get up to 80. Get his lofted pass up a bit. We could lose a bit more dribbling. I know some people might pan me for that, but just showing you different ways you can build him. Yeah, we've got 1 spare, but stick that one on aerial again. Yeah, so if you want a bit more product on him, I personally would. This way you get the low pass up a bit, lofted pass as well, gets up to 80. Finishing gets up to 80. Still great on the ball. Still got offensive awareness of 80. Still got really good pace. Kicking power still good. Balance is good. Physical mid-70s. Not the best stamina. If you look down here, he is a super sub. He's a very good player, so you might not want to hold him back. Depends what other players have got in your squad. If you've got players who are as good as him, maybe if you hold him back and bring him on second half, really make the most of him. But in terms of the rest of his skills, the dribblers who like the skill moves will like this guy. He's got a bunch of dribbly stuff, soul control as well. Long range drive coming in from the left flank onto his right foot. That's a good one to have. Rising shots, heel triggers useful. But yeah, with that long range drive, his curlers should be pretty decent if he gets finishing up to 80. This probably is how I think I would personally build him. I think it'll be great on the ball. I've got the first legend card they did with this guy. I picked it up. I trained mine as a centre forward. In fact, I'll just show you how you could train this one as a centre forward. I don't think I would personally do that, but just to show you how you could build him for that. How good can we make him as a striker? That's probably pretty much what I'd do. The thing is, as a centre forward, offensive awareness and finishing are the keys. You'd have to put quite a lot of points on those two, 10 and 12. That's a lot of his points used up on awareness and finishing. That's about as high as you could realistically get them without sacrificing a bit too much elsewhere. But he could do a job there. I think 85 and 84, not brilliant, not really what you want from a 5-star card, but it's certainly not too bad. He's still good on the ball, still got 90 dribbling. The passing still is at least 70 plus. And over on the right, 93 speed, still 99 acceleration now because he put that dexterity up. 91 balance, bit of physical contact as well, kicking power 80. He could do a job as a striker. You just need to put that first time shot skill on him. That's the one for a striker. Strikers need first time shot. So that'd be the one skill I think you'd need from him if you use him as a striker. But what I was saying before I did that build there, I got that first legend card. I trained mine initially as a striker. He never quite felt right. He kind of just felt like he didn't really know what he was doing. Positionally, he wasn't quite right. He didn't have a play style active. For some players, that seems to be fine. I think it's maybe just to do with the way their attributes are balanced. But for whatever reason, my Rafael Leão, trained as a striker, didn't really feel right. His movement wasn't quite right. His positioning, even on the ball, he didn't quite feel right. I ended up retraining him, making him a wide left player, and he's been absolutely brilliant for me. He's really hard to knock off the ball. You can tie your opponent's defenders up in knots. Been really good for me, so I think this guy will be better wide left. But if you're going to try him as a centre forward, if maybe you've already got a version of him, you get this one, train this one as a striker, so you've got 2 different versions of him, but that's probably how I'd do him. But I think with either the auto allocation, the default allocation of his points could be very effective, and the way that I showed you where you get his passing up a bit and his finishing up to 80, that's how I'd personally do it. I think he could be really, really good left winger. So yeah, one of the better versions of Rafael that we've had. He's had great form as well along here. He's not been scoring that many goals, but clearly he's getting a lot of A and B form. So if you like this guy, really good version of him to pick up. Can do a job as a striker, but primarily as a wide left player. Very effective, really good card. And if you like him, I think it'll be a good one to pick up. And we finish up with Chiesa. So apart from the Showtime version, that Blitz Curler one, this is about as good as we've had. That Blitz one was the best, but yeah, this is about as good as any version of Chiesa that we've had before. We've got a bunch of positions as always with Chiesa. You can play him out wide, or we can play him as an SS. And he's pretty dangerous. He's good. He goes up to 96 with his auto allocation. Similar to Leão, we've got the pace, we've got the dribbling. Just a bit of a question mark over that end product. If you're okay with that, with those attributes for his passing and finishing, good for you. You know, we all play the game differently. It's up to you. Personally, I like a bit more end product. So if I'm going to tweak this allocation, like I say, this works as it is. We have a game plan boost actually as well. So just on the default allocation, you can see there, the pace, the dribbling, balance, really, really good. He's actually okay with end product. It's not too bad, but yeah. If that works for you, great. It could be great for you like this, but if you do like a bit more end product, what I personally do, what would I do? Take a bit of pace away, to be honest. You can easily sacrifice that. I don't think you really notice too much difference with speed and acceleration once they get past 90. I don't personally, anyway. I'll just do that, I think. So like with Leão, we get the passing up a bit, and lofted hits 80, finishing 82, curlers 81, kicking power 85. So we go down here and look at the skills. As you can see, he's got long range curler on him. So his long range curlers, especially if you do what I've done with the training, get his finishing up and his curl, could be pretty effective. Got a bit of dribbly stuff, a few skill moves for the skill merchants. Pinpoint crossing as well. His crossing won't be bad. It won't be brilliant, but it won't be bad. See, lofted passes 80, curl 81, good kicking power as well. So he's got a reasonable cross on him. Track back, again, not everyone likes that, some do. Super sub, could be a really dangerous super sub to bring on with the pace and his ability on the ball. If you need a goal second half, could be very effective. But yeah, really tidy on the ball. Got a bit of end product, we beefed it up there obviously. Offensive range over 80 still. And speed and acceleration both still 90. Kicking power good, balance good. Stamina's not too bad. It's a really dangerous card, to be honest. He's got ability on the ball and pace. He's got end product. He's very good. And as an SS as well, just to do one more build on him. For an SS, how would I build him? Just shuffle these around a bit. I think that's probably all I'd do. Yeah, I'll just do that. I think as an SS, it's a little bit more important to have good passing. Doesn't have one touch pass or through passing, no. So if you wanted to use him as an SS, I think one touch pass and through passing would be really beneficial. Maybe long range shooting as well. He's got a good finishing attribute, curl, kicking power. He's got long range curlers already, but long range shooting will be a good one to add as well. But yeah, the passing as an SS, if you're playing in and around the striker, around the edge of the area, passing is more important. So I'd probably build him out to do that job. I think he could be really effective there. Still got that pace, still great on the ball, a bit more passing. It's a really good card. Whether you're using wide left, cutting inside for the long range curler, wide right, putting some crosses in. He's 2-footed as well. He's pretty 2-footed, so he can come inside and you cut onto his left foot as well. Or you can train him to play as an SS. I don't think you need to train him too differently, to be honest. Whichever way you train him, I think it'll be effective SS and out wide. Maybe his one or two skills would be useful, like one touch pass and through passing. But yeah, like I say, either way you use him, it's going to be a really good card. He's got 3 different ways you can use him, left, right, or centre, and he's a super sub. And it's one of the best versions of Chiesa we've had. So yeah, if you like this guy, if he's your type of player, really good card. So there you go. I think that's a pretty interesting selection, to be honest. That's all 3 of the league packs I've reviewed now. I think it's pretty obvious the best 2 in there, Chiesa and Leão. Two dangerous wide men. Very good cards to pick up if you like those types of player. I think Scalvini looks like potentially a really good centre-back. It's just that extra frontman playing style. That's the main issue. If you're not too keen on extra frontman centre-backs, he might not be for you. But if you don't mind that playing style, he looks really good. And then Paredes, I think people might sleep on Paredes, how good he is. He looks like a really solid defensive midfield option. Could play centre midfield as well. Apart from that, don't think Bellanova or Retegui are very good. I think those are the 2 duds. Rui, if you give him interception, could be a good fullback. Bonaventura could be a tidy centre mid. Soulé could be used for wide right. Gregorio, solid keeper, nothing special. And then Saelemaekers, pretty straightforward right wing, a decent cross on him, not much more to him. So yeah, I think probably the weakest of the 3 league packs. I think the English and Spanish ones are better, but there are some good ones in here. So yeah, not a bad pack. So hopefully you found that useful. As I mentioned in the last 2 videos, certainly the last one, we got an update coming on Thursday, so it'll be 1 or 2 videos around that, hopefully. 1 or 2 packs, player faces maybe, so keep your eyes out for those. The English and Spanish League pack reviews are also live on the channel, so check those out if you're not already. Hopefully you found this video useful. Thank you for watching as always. I will see you soon.